Hey, how's it going? This is Star Wars Junkie. We're going to be doing a review of the 10v10 game on Twin Cities. I'm playing as the 11th Armored Cav. Our objective is going to be Alpha, Bravo, and Golf. Starting off, I deployed a M1A1 CP, two M1A1s, two PVADs, one supply helo, and two IHawks. Now, my initial orders for my units were to just move up and secure Alpha. I like to play on the defense until I've built up enough forces for an overwhelming superiority when I push the objective. So that's the objective here. We have Adelise, who's playing as the 5th Division Blindee. He's coming in with some commandos and Dragon Para Recon, along with these AMX 10s. Yeah, AMX 10s.
Beware, commies nearby. At your orders.
Now, it'll be a minute before I notice how far Adelise has pushed up into Bravo before I reissue orders to these units. I think the IHawks deploy themselves beforehand.
Tank ready.
Now, actually, let's take a look at what the enemy had going on over here. All right. So, opposing us is Li Fong, Lapong. Just Lapong. Just him. He has a fob deployed. He's bringing up three T-80Bs, a command vehicle, Strela 10, BMP, Strela 10, two MI8s, and an MI8 Recon. Which is pretty good. I think that's a pretty good opener. I think that this is something that I might not do both of the helicopters in the first wave, but I love the T-80Bs. T-80Bs are, I love them. They got 14 points of frontal armor. Main gun penetrates 19. Now against our Abrams, it has 17 frontal armor and a main gun that pens 20. So we can definitely, no question about our ability to take on the T-80Bs. But the T-80Bs can penetrate the frontal armor of the M1A1s. All right, let's go back to Star Wars. Star Wars view.
3 o'clock high. Waiting for instructions.
I think I was worried, which isn't a big deal. I was worried about calling in my reinforcements, which I brought up the ACAV, which I did not bring in the first wave. The ACAV is so expensive, and I decided to go with the 3 Abrams and the Abrams CP with additional air defense over bringing the ACAV, just because Adelise had AMX 10s. He is very well entrenched into Bravo before I issued orders to redeploy. Now, as you can see, I'm picking up my IHawks. This will receive the order shortly to move. I wanted to bound up. I've had issues in the past where I've picked up both IHawks, or I've picked up both sets of air defense and moved them at the same time, and that is the perfect time. That is Murphy's Law when I get strike. So I decided to bound up with the IHawks. I leave this one deployed until this one is far forward enough to provide sufficient coverage on the next objective. And you can see he brought a Rollins. Adelise has a Mistral.
À toutes les sections. Ennemi repéré.
Oops. Let me bring it back. There we go. All right, so you saw right there, we could see like 3 or 4 units. And that was thanks to, I think, his Dragon Paras moving up. Yeah, I think it was his Dragon Paras who gave us the view on that. And we can see that he's got this helo.
Waiting for instruction.
I decide that we're going to push across to the right side of the field, keeping the edge of the map to our right, the enemy to the front and to the left, and that way we'd be able to use this wood line as coverage, and when we push up, we'll be able to take these sets of woods and this set of woods. Eventually, this little tree line becomes sort of a problem for us because there it is right there. The motorized Rozvedka. He places up here and has got a pretty good view of everything that I'm doing, which I should have focused on taking that out early, but I did not.
Beware.
All right, so we got our supply moving up.
Is running. We're waiting.
We realized that the Abrams have driven quite far. They've used, you know, about half of their, a little bit more than half their fuel, 60% of their fuel. So we're gonna refuel them and supply Adelise's units too. We deploy our IHawks in the rear. This one is getting moved to the rear also, and we have a third IHawk. This is the third IHawk
For enemy plane.
that is being deployed up now. So we have 3 IHawks, we have the M1 ACAVs, and then we have 3 Stingers coming up. I want to make sure that we have sufficient air defense, especially because Lapong
To all units.
is bringing up, he's got 2 MI8s deployed, plus an MI8 recon, which makes me concerned. I think that if he opens with helos, he will have more helos, and that he will focus on air power, which is not what happens. He brings in air superiority fighters, but no strike aircraft. I don't get touched by strike aircraft. That one Su 23 comes in. One rocket Su comes in, but is made quick work with the 3 IHawks, which is the whole card that that comes in. 3 IHawks in 1 card. Now what I'm doing here is setting up my air defense network. I have enough. If he were to push against me, I would be able to hold myself without a problem.
Right up.
So now that the ACAV has arrived, I have the 2 Abrams and the ACAV in front, the Abrams CP and the PVADs to push up in the front. I see that motorized Rozvedka. I ideally would like to take it out.
What are your orders, sir?
Let's take a look at this right here. So there we go. All right, so Lapong is bring up this BMP Grad, which is has 171 suppression, 1.1 HE, 40 rockets, 122 mil, and he had it targeted to where my tanks, where my armored, let's call this this armored platoon. He was targeting where the armored platoon had been sitting. This motorized Rozvedka had eyes on and could see that, and he utilized that to call in an artillery strike. Thankfully for me, I had decided to preemptively push. Now, what we got going up against is we have BMP Motostrelki, BMP-1P with the Fagot missile and the tank gun. 2 T-80Bs that are in the open. A T-80B that's in cover, Strela, 2 Strelas, and that's it. He hasn't really reinforced this position much, besides these 2 units of recon. This was in his opener. The rest of these were in his opener. He's really focused on getting some support units. He's got this 122 mil howitzer. Oh, I didn't know that this was amphibious. That's pretty awesome. Now, I don't know what you would be doing with an amphibious howitzer. There's not a whole lot you would be doing with that in this matchup. But he's bringing up 2 Urals, reinforces position. So this Monoshoki BMP side shots our Abrams. This Abrams routes itself all the way to the rear. I deploy all the smoke on my Abrams as he's advancing up with his rocket helos. I order these Abrams forward to take out that BMP-1P, and I order the PVADs forward. Now, my IHawk made short work of that first Mi-8, and what I should have done was advance these Stingers up, but I was really microing hard on these Abrams. I order them to retreat. We do not have the superiority on the field. I withdraw, and this was the same exact tactic I did. This was the same exact thing I did. At this very moment, I looked at the range on the T-80B to see if I was going to lose that Abrams. Oh, and there's the Su-25 that I get hit with. Alright, so I bring the Abrams to the rear. They're going to resupply on this helo. Where do I move it to? Move it to the back. I move all of these vehicles to the rear. Bringing up 2 Milans with Panzergrens. My IHawks are able to make easy work of the Su-25. PVADS gets shot at but is missed by this advancing T-80B. Adelise's Milan fires on the T-80B, hits it, stuns it. And as we start taking artillery fire, I take that as a cue and I order all of these armored units to the right. Again, this IHawk right here is doing a great job providing adequate air defense coverage. I recognize that what's his name? That Lafong is quick with the counter battery. I load up all IHawks and move them to different positions. And as we go through, you'll see that he provides artillery fire onto the positions of where the IHawks were. Now, this supply helo is completely out. I recognize that. I have brought up a second supply. Eventually, I'll bring up a Chinook supply. I had in this deck earlier, I had artillery and I had supply fob. I chose to take out both units of artillery, add more aircraft, and replace the fob with a Chinook. I already had these Blackhawk supply helos. I take these Milan. I wanted to take this woodline position here, but again, I come under fire from the BMP grad. I load the Panzergrens back into the Milans, into the Marauders, and I pull them back. I wanted to get them inside the armored vehicle to provide cover. Once it stops, I push them back forward and order them to unload. You can see we have our casualty collection point in the rear. 2 M1A1s that were injured. I couldn't see this because it was just because of the cards. I got the ACAV up front. Took no damage in the first round. Now let's see what he has in the field. I really could have pushed that ACAV up. He's got a T-80B, which I don't think I can see this, which is out of its Cobra rounds. He's got 2 Rizvedkas, 3 Rizvedkas covering. That's good. That's good recon right there. I wonder what he can see. Oh, so he can see my ACAV. And I think the ACAV ends up taking fire. No, he's dropping already on my Milan infantry. I could have pushed that ACAV up and taken advanced the position. I move the Panzergrenz to the left to provide cover. I order the Milans to open fire on the T-80B. It is ineffective. Now my Panzergrenz are in the wood line without cover, being engaged by a T-80B, which has recon from the Rozvedka, so it's able to take able to fire on these Panzergrenz. Eventually, we end up losing one of the Panzergrenz, and the other one falls back. Now, I have called in an A-10. Let's watch this. This A-10 was ordered to engage that T-80B, and that is exactly what he is going to do. We open up with the rockets, destroying T-80B. Now, we see the second T-80B pop up. I bring up the A-10, order him to engage. He moves left, gets hit by the AA, and side shots the T-80B. Now that is good micro right there. I'm gonna flaunt my horn. That's good micro. Look at that. That T-80B is very low. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the kill, but that's okay. We will. Panzergren Martyrs, half health. I move the LRS up to the position to provide reconnaissance, which I have an inadequate amount of reconnaissance. These Stingers should have been pushed up. I should have deployed more LRS earlier. I call up 2 Dragon engineers. I have a Hilo resupply. Here's the Chinook coming in. Recognize that Abrams requires supply. Boom. Cash money, dude. As I engage with the M1A1 ACAV, I realize that it's been out in the open. It's been sitting in the same position for a while. I order it back right before Lao opens fire. Panzergrenz are ordered back to resupply also. They don't get used again. I put them in a building to resupply. I forget about them, and that's it. I don't believe these Stingers... These Stingers do not fire a single shot. At all. This entire match. Which is fine. Having those Stingers is a good thing. It was a good counter to what I had initially seen. And here's Lep with a MiG-31. Engaged by the Ihawks. LRS and this little squad of armored vehicles gets hit with the Grad again. I'm worried that this LRS is going to be lost permanently, but the artillery does not make its mark. I order up the supply. Here, at this point, I am preparing for my big push. I've got 2 M1A1s, an ACAV, Abrams CP, another ACAV, 2 PVADs, and I've just bought 3 Bradleys, which should have their new skin. You know, I never realized that the cannon was offset on the chassis. Never realized that.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
So here we have a lull in the fighting, while I build up and Lafong reinforces his position. He has at this point deployed 2 Concours, AT teams. He still has initial 2 Strelas. He brought up a couple more BMPs and another T-80B. Well, this was probably his original T-80B. This is a reinforcement T-80B. Thankfully, Major Wu is providing artillery support and preventing this motorized Razvedka from providing reconnaissance. And you see, this Razvedka is a continued problem for me that I never address. Well, that's not true. I address later, but at this point I have not addressed, and it's been here a majority of the time. Go back to my view. Let's take a look at these units. This ACAV is beautiful. Look at that. 50 cal machine gun. Alright, so Lep has fired his BMP Grad again, but I moved the LRS out of the way.
We can't take it anymore!
Gets hit once. Low cohesion. That's alright. Got my engineers moving up.
Enemy spotted!
I have made good work of using these IHawks. So what I had done is I placed them in a group, and I would turn them off using the hotkey H.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
Oh, see, he's targeting this IHawk right here. I order it to move and change locations.
We get shot at!
Now, unfortunately, this LRS is going to die,
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
but it's being engaged by the T-80Bs because of that Razvedka that's in the center. I initially ordered my engineers forward, but decided to retreat them. And I decided to retreat the LRS.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
Deploy some stingers. And order all of my armored units
Tank ready.
into this right-hand field. With the
Bravo 1, hier Bravo.
arrival of the Bradleys. We're going to get ready to push into the objective. 2 more LRS provide useful reconnaissance. I'm not sure if he can see all
Enemy at
these.
3 o'clock high.
Oh, he can't see? Look at that. Oh, and look, there it is. He orders the strike. These two 122 millimeters, the BMP Grad, opens fire on my tank column. Reckless of me to allow that Razvedka to stay alive this long. Use a F-16 laser guided bomb to drop ordnance on the T-80B. Should have taken out that recon. What I decide to do instead is order all of my units forward. The PVADs get suppressed and damaged. The M1CP gets suppressed and damaged. ACAV gets suppressed and damaged. All of these end up damaged. I advance them forward.
Yes, sir.
My objective is to destroy their armored vehicles.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high. It's hot here.
This M1 is hit and is routed. I start manually targeting these M1 Abrams. I want to take out the Strelas so I can use my air power in the future. Sea Knight gets hit
One needed guardian angel.
and destroyed.
I've got him. Waiting for instructions.
Conkers is ordered to be hit. I split the fire. ACAV and Abrams on the left take out the BMP-1. CP and ACAV are ordered to take out the Conkers, which is destroyed. destroyed. Bradleys move up. And the autocannon update was fantastic. ACAV gets hit. Is down to 2 health, 2 units of health. Bradleys are pushed forward to provide cover while the rest of the armor section retreats. PVADs move forward to provide air defense. There is no enemy air.
Decided at 12 o'clock.
Psych.
Out of ammo.
Now, Lao, at this time, can see all of my units. He has ordered his Su-25 to take out my ACAV. Or my Abrams CP. Now, up until this point, my IHawks have provided really great air defense. The first shot misses on the Su-25. Second shot hits. The Su-25 is able to get a shot off and eliminates my Abrams. My Abrams CP. He orders the advancement of his Motostrelki BMP infantry. I have these 2 engineer dragons that have moved up. I think they get slaughtered. I don't know what happens to them. While everything is sitting over here, they're just firing away. Let's say, Blackhawk supply empties. The rest of these units are ordered to withdraw to the rear and link up with this Chinook, which is going to head over to this Abrams over here. All of these units are ordered backwards to that same position. I order F-16 A-10 or AT and F-16 laser guided munition.
Go on, Control.
We'll see how those do.
Just give me a target.
F-16 AT, F-16 AA to provide air defense for them, and the laser guided munitions. Now their target, the F-16 is just ordered to move. The laser guided bomb is ordered to take out that Rozvedka. It loses sight, does not launch ordnance. F-16 takes out a T-80B. I order it back around to take out that BV. I manually order the laser guided bomb to drop ordnance.
Enemy spotted. I'm out. Over.
It doesn't fire.
At 12 o'clock.
F-16 AT gets taken out.
One more kill.
F-16 AA takes out that MiG-29. It gets killed by this MiG-29. I order the laser guided bomb to return, and it has not dropped its ordnance. Now, LEP is advancing forward on my position, providing artillery fire on my armored column. Now, all he has are these 2 BMP-1Ps, 2 half-strength Motostrelki, this Rozvedka, that Rozvedka, and he's bringing up Strelos to cover the rear. You can see my LRS that are advancing out in the open. Poor decision on my part.
They spotted us.
Which come under fire. I see that they're going to be coming under fire by these BMP-1Ps. I order these units that are full strength, 2 M1A1s, a ACAV, and a Bradley Recon. I order them forward to engage the enemy. Once this LRS makes it up onto the woodline, they hold their position, they get their stealth coverage, and the BMP-1Ps no longer fire on them.
I keep the shot. Good job, Gunner.
Now this is where my money is made. M1A1 CP purchase ordered to bring up to the front. 2 groups. We'll put them into 2 platoons.
Yes, sir. Enemy spotted.
This has 2 PVADs, a Bradley, and an ACAV. I bring up 2 Sea Knights. I have
Red 6.
2 ACAV, 2 Abrams, and the Bradley. Advancing on this uncontested ground.
Enemy at 3
I see the
o'clock high.
T-80B.
War Daddy
Bring
to
my
Red
Sea Knights
Leader.
forward.
I am listening.
Now that should have range. Now, unfortunately for me, I'll wait till that happens.
Enemy at
Under
3
constant
o'clock
artillery fire, the best choice in this situation is to push forward. To close the gap, close the distance. He has the edge because of the Cobra missile. But if I close the gap, he loses that edge.
high. I got him.
Considering I have overwhelming superiority, 2 M1A1s, an ACAV, and a Bradley CP,
Bullseye.
order them forward
Right
again.
up there.
Laser guided
Ready to
bomb
attack control.
takes out. Oh, I missed what that was. Oh, the BMP command takes out the BMP command. Gauge this BV. IZOD 29. I move the Sea Knights up to take that out. Bring my PVADs forward after seeing the MI-24.
Good job, Gunner. This is Red 2. Enemy spotted. We're being shot at. Get down. I got a hit.
As I move forward, I see which are Rizvedka Sapri, and I see one of these Urals. Order all the armored units to engage the T-80BV. PVAD's moving up with them. Under constant artillery fire, I continue to advance my units forward.
I got him.
That MiG-31 gets hit by the IHawk and destroyed by the IHawk.
I got him.
And I move forward to take my prize. Now, what I'm waiting for is this CP to move up. I've ordered it up into the zone, and I've purchased some Black Hawk infantry.
Enemy at 3
Unfortunately, the PVADs does not have enough range to protect the Sea Knights. I order it to the rear to land and resupply. Now, I was sitting here thinking about how I should handle this situation.
Back up. Back up.
Woo!
Enemy nearby.
Oh my god. Absolutely slaughtered. This T-80BV, or T-64. Nah, it was a T-80BV. This T-80BV crest the hill. Spanked. Get spanked.
Copy. Right up. Get in formation.
I bring up a Chinook to supply all these. Because they're all half strength, quarter strength, low cohesion.
Enemy at
They need some resupply. I'll bring in my F-16 cluster. What for? I don't know yet. Order the Black Hawk infantry to land. And what I eventually do is order the F-16 to drop ordnance on his artillery that's firing. So we're gonna see how well that is. That's right on the money. Oh, right next to his fob too. We'll see how this does. Oh, and it's eliminated. It took out. Nice, that was good. So, what we have here, M1A1s makes it up. I deployed 3 Blackhawks. Here's one going down, right? Here's one going down. Right? One's going down. This one's hit. I order them to unload, just straight up unload. They're being smacked out by these Strellas, man. No question. They're going to get clapped. What I am not prepared for is this. Ducky came in with some reinforcements, and they are all these SPW Conquerors. Speed it back up. So I ordered a push forward. I want to take it out. We'll go to my view. Surprise! This is what I see. Is 9 of these bad boys. I see that. Well, watch my orders change. I dump the smoke for all of these units and retreat them all. 2 of the arrow rifles land. Order the Blackhawks out. I lose an ACAV. What do we got here? T-80BV pushes forward. Gets engaged by our ACAV. Oh, he takes out our PVADs and is destroyed. We start making money out of these Malukas as he advances them forward. They're not hitting their target, but we're smacking them. He deployed 9. There's only 2 left at the end of the battle. And that was it. We come out victorious. I end up with the most conquest points. I end up with I would say a pretty good KD. 4,666 points killed versus 2120 lost. We'll check. Oh, I can't see the unit that killed the most. Oh, it sucks. Okay, so this ACAV did really well. I wonder if that's the one that survived to the end. Laser guided bomb. This M1 Abrams. Let's see. Where are the Hawk? Yeah, see that they didn't have these didn't have too much action. This PVADs took out Motor Strelke. IHawk took out 2 MI8s. This IHawk took out the Su-25 MI8. M1A1CP came in with the kill of the BV. This Bradley took out 3 of the Malukas. This Abrams took out 2 Malukas and the BVI Zod 29. F-16 with the MiG-29. This F-16 took out 2 of the TDBs, 1 BV. That cluster munition took out a Su-25, the Ural, and that artillery. All in all, this is really good. That A-10, really, I count that second kill for this A-10. But man, that ACAV did money. Hayden, his name's Hayden. So let's see which one was lost. ACAV, Walker. Yeah, so Hayden is the one that made it. Is the one that this ACAV I deployed in the second tick. And he survived through the end of the match. So yeah, it came out pretty good. Let's see who got the last kill. Last kill was a Book M1 taking a Jaguar. This all happened within 3 seconds of each other. Oh, that Jaguar. Oh, look at that. Jaguar Napalm took out 3 units and then got smacked by the Book. Well, awesome. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day.